What's up, gang? Hope you're doing well. A couple of you were asking me to watch this Jaylen Brown workout video. This is on Dashletics. Go like, go subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. Let's see how it goes.
Attract what you chase, you attract what you are. So what we are, we're gonna be our work, we're gonna be our details.
Right, so it's from under to over, right? Really working that out.
You guys know how I feel about these types of ball handling drills. I really like them for 5 to 10 minute stretches for like coordination, right? I feel like you're trying to, now that I'm really getting into the weeds of learning like the constraint-led approach and ecological dynamics and best training methods and things, whatever. I'm trying to put a framework around everything, I suppose, of like when you should do drills, when you shouldn't, are they worth it, are they not worth it? To me, ball handling drills at the beginning of practice, I think are always a good warm-up. So I think they always at least accomplish that. If you're trying to improve your ball handling, I think just doing stationary drills, just doing two-ball dribbling, or just doing the footwork, sorry, not the two-ball dribbling, but just like the footwork stuff that we see to half court and back, I think that ceiling is very low. I think it's more of a warm-up than it is an improvement at ball handling and rhythm, all that stuff. This sort of stuff, however, I think will develop better neuro pathways. Like it's going to make you more coordinated with hand-eye coordination. It's going to help that. But now there's a 5 minute to 10 minute window that you can improve on this. But if you do this for 15, 20 minutes, like you're going to fry your brain. You're going to get to a point where it's diminishing returns. You're just like, you can't think anymore. It's not improving. Move on. Right. So I say 5-10 minutes a day of improving like your coordination, ball manipulation, that sort of stuff. Move on onto another thing. Man, all of these guys are so intently focused in on this. I'm just gonna make a joke here. I don't know this. I don't know Dashletics. I think we've broken down a few of his training sessions before. I think he's pretty good. This looks like a cult. They're all wearing the same thing. They're all talking at the same time. This looks crazy. Again, this is like a coordination thing. Very good. Very good for coordination. Isn't it funny? Like Jaylen Brown's even saying like, "Oh, I don't even know if I can do that." And he's in the NBA. So you don't need these drills to get to high levels of basketball, but they will make all of the moves you do, all your coordination, catching it one hand in the post and controlling it while holding off the defender with the other hand. It just makes all of that stuff easier to do.
You can take two back and just get the left. Yeah. Once you cross it.
And see, and my problem with these drills is precisely what's happening right now. You need to learn the drill. Once you learn the drill, it becomes a lot easier. So when you're teaching this to players, make sure they know that too. Like, hey, it's going to feel very weird your very first time. Just try it. But when you come back the next day, your brain is already going to adapt to it a little bit better. Then you can actually start improving the skill of it. So is this guy a better ball handler than Jaylen Brown? Maybe, maybe not. But it's like, he's definitely better at the drill. And look, he probably is a better ball handler than Jaylen Brown. But for me, I count ball handling as like effectiveness of getting from point A to point B, not what types of crossovers and all these things you can do. Can you get from point A to point B efficiently with the least amount of dribbles? Is the ball snappy? Can you get it into your gather to pull off the move that you're trying to pull off? To me, that's ball handling. Obviously, a few more things in there, but basically that sort of stuff. So if I was teaching this, I would just be telling, like, he's trying to get Jaylen Brown to understand the whole drill. And again, this is part of the problem I have with trainers, coaches in general. I don't know about Dashletics, but most of us aren't good communicators. We aren't good teachers. So breaking these down into smaller pieces, it's like, just do the crossover. Do the crossover with the basketball and then pass with the other one. Yep. Bounce the ball, do a crossover pass, crossover pass, crossover. Once he's doing the crossover pass, now you go 1-2 crossover pass, 1-2 crossover pass, 1-2. Like break it down. this is what typically happens is a trainer or a coach will get a player who's like, Jaylen Brown is brilliant. So he's going to end up figuring this out on his own, but there's better coaching cues and better direction that we can give. So this is what I'm trying to grow in the community. I'm trying to make sure we become better communicators. We give better context. Like we upload these videos and thousands of kids are going to watch these and think they need to do them, but we give no context. As trainers, we give no context at the beginning. Like, who is this for? What's our goal for the workout? And that's all the stuff I'm trying to fix and make sure we get better.
Cross it first. Yeah. Yeah, right now you're leaving it. Cross it. Cross the back.
It is funny that he's struggling so much with this. It's showing that he's not comfortable. So this is something we'll talk about. And this is something I noticed very quickly, and hopefully Dash points this out. Some players aren't comfortable with the ball out of their hand, right? So you'll watch, like sometimes watch Westbrook get the ball. He'll take a bounce and he'll walk. He'll start wiping his hands on his jersey. LeBron does this. They'll bounce the ball and they'll start doing other things, and they'll tap the ball again and they'll run and they'll tap the ball. They're comfortable with the ball out of their hands. Kyrie obviously does this more than anybody, but that means when you're splitting screens and you're contesting like hands, whenever you're dribbling the ball away and you're looking for, like, you're scanning the floor, they're comfortable with the ball out of their hands because they know they can bounce it to where they want, and then they know where to like go grab the ball. They're experts at putting the ball where they want to. Jaylen Brown is doing this. He's like identifying where the ball is, and he's going and getting the ball and he's putting it back where he's comfortable, right? So if you watch him, instead of just cross it, get it out of your hand, and then catch it over here with the other hand. Get comfortable with that in between space, the ball out of your hand. Jaylen Brown is like, no, I got to bring the ball over here to my space. Hopefully Dash points this out, but that means there's a different problem going on right here with Jaylen Brown. He needs to work on these things. He needs to be doing these 5-10 minutes a day. See? He's so scared to have that ball out of his hand.
Cross the basketball. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Yeah, this seems like a cult. It's so funny to me. Hey, guys, everyone wear the same thing, and we all talk at the same time. Yeah, he just not like having that basketball out of his hand.
Nice. There you go.
This is comedy to me. And again, it's showing you can be elite at doing other skills great without having like this sort of handle. You can point A to point B handles is what you need more than anything. Can you finish at the rim? Can you make open threes? If you can do those things, like this stuff becomes auxiliary skills that you can add in for sure.
There you go. 4. Overhand. Yeah, 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Overhand. 3. And you like working on changing speed in the way. So I'm trying to pull with my off hand. Alright?
Same thing between the legs.
Same thing between the legs. Yep.
Jeez, this dude cannot, like, he has no coordination for like ball manipulation. So it, like I'm saying, it is crazy to me that he's been so successful, like a top 5 player at times. He's won a championship and been the best player on the team when he did it, or, you know, JT, whatever. But without being able to do these things, it just goes to show this is not the main focus. This is why I said 5-10 minutes a day, move on to your other stuff. Cause the other stuff is 80% of what you need. But this stuff is very important for most of you that aren't 6'8" freak athletes. You also need to have this. Does that make sense?
Do things like this because they were like, man, too good, man. I look like I can't have it. I can't do it. I'm not trying to look crazy to people. But that's what makes you you. That you challenge yourself no matter what it is. All right, let's go shit killer. Keep going. Shit. Come on.
Man, it's crazy. He looks so uncomfortable. All right, let's move on. All right, so we can tell Dashletics, he definitely has his style of training session he likes to do. We've seen this same build up with multiple players. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Trainers having like their expertise and then players going to learn that expertise. This is something Kobe did quite often. He would go to different trainers. He would go try to learn a skill from a previous player. He would go learn a thing from someone and take that and move on. You don't need to buy someone's program necessarily. Again, I don't know if Dash has programs and all that stuff, but if their expertise is one small slice of the pie, you don't need to like constantly do that one thing over and over. It's good to learn it. Like go to a basketball camp, learn a thing. Now you can go home and take those things for yourself. Because he's definitely done this same workout. And I have a template, like a workout template that I typically take new players through as well, if I have never seen them play or anything. I just really think when we get to this level, like NBA development or our most elite players development, we should have like very specific workouts. Not right. I'm not saying this is bad. We should get to a point where we do have more individualized specific workouts because there's so much money and resources into it. Again, Steph Curry, I need to watch that video, but like Brandon Payne does Tim Grover did this for Michael Jordan and Kobe. I think just like having your trainer that understands you and can put the workouts in for yourself. Even Drew Hanlon, when we watched that Drew Hanlon session, it was really good with his players, and he could carry over skills that they had talked about before, and what they use later on. As much grief as he gets, and as much trash I talk about skills trainers, it was actually pretty good. Like right now, like this is more just coordination stuff that Jaylen Brown is just not good at. It's crazy to me.
A lot of distraction going on this side of the body. You have control on this side of the body, right? I should be able to control that basketball while
And so this is why I say 2-ball dribbling stuff is really good. It's to get you to be able to not have to focus on your dribble, and you can use your brain to do other things, to keep fight the hand battles, to look at the shot clock, to point to your teammates, to think of like identifying the gaps. See, I'm telling you, they got the same name. Look, neither one of them knew which one. Wait, which one? Mike 1 or Mike 2?
I'm here, over, rotate around, Mike. Boom. See where I'm at? Boom. As soon as you rotate, change, hands.
So yeah, this stuff is just a build up off of that heavy ball and normal ball that he was using earlier. It's just like the next evolution of it. So again, just hand-eye coordination stuff with being able to manipulate the ball, win the hand battles. But I'm telling you, if you do that other thing, if you do 2-ball dribbling, 5 minutes a day, with all those, like we have that over on the Patreon. If you just do that sort of stuff 5 minutes a day, you will be able to do this stuff. You don't necessarily need to practice this individually. And this is what I want you guys to think of. There's 4 coaches right now training Jaylen Brown. They can get into these minute, like these little games of having a coach like stand there and train him. Like that, you could tell they've got Jaylen Brown's shoes on, so he has the money to pay for 4 coaches to put him through a workout. Most of you aren't going to have that. You're training by yourself. You don't need all of this stuff. So don't feel like you can't do this stuff at home. Do the 2-ball dribbling. It will, once your brain develops the motor neurons being able to do that, those skills, you'll be able to do this stuff too. Then you can just practice this when you play one-on-one. You can practice it in your 5s, whatever. Again, form shooting. I'm not a huge fan of form shooting.
Once you start getting tired, you start to stand up. So it's easier to push you.
I'm disrupting this.
And when I say not a fan of it, I just mean like as a prescription for an individual player. If you like doing it, do it. If I was going to put a practice plan together without ever seeing you practice, I'd probably put it in there. But I think at this level, it's just like he can do that stuff on his own.
Nothing. Boom. Finding my balance. right? So I got my pound, I don't got that shot.
Hands up.
Right? Hands here. Boom. Just taking one little step right there.
Interesting. So one thing I appreciate with the guard whisperer is he can talk through these drills. He can understand the purpose of like why we're doing it. Most of what I've seen so far has been like, you could tell it seems like Dashletics has built this up over just thousands of hours of coaching, which is not, this is also not bad. I just think there's also a skill in the communicating an idea, communicating like the purpose that you can add on to, you can expedite a lot of these processes. And like what I'm watching what he's doing right now, and I'm not understanding how this is like really applicable. Like when would he ever take like a small step over like this? For me, it would just be like a split stance, right? Between the legs, boom, get your feet set and go. Because that split stance can turn into a drive right, can turn into a drive left, can turn into a shot. You can do everything out of it. This is like so very specific and not game-like and not in rhythm, you know? So it's like a lot of things. It's kind of like earlier, win the drill, right? Win the drill, don't win the game.
Shoot the mid-range so well. So now when they try to take away, he does a great job of picking up using the shot picks in these areas where he can step through, but also giving them an option where like, okay, no shot, keep my dribble alive and continue to go play.
So see what I mean? This doesn't, it may build into a drive. He's talking about the concept now, but I think the footwork is not leading into like what they started with earlier in the drill is not leading into the outcome he's wanting here. I could be completely wrong. Tell me down in the comments. I'm not seeing it.
Up, hands up, eyes up, right? Changing the level.
I hear what he's saying, but it's not matching with like what they're doing. And also why it's so specific to this spot on the floor. And I know some of you will say, oh, staying low because of balance, or trying to work on, there's 1,000 reasons to do this, but to me, I'm like, just do it from the spots that he's going to shoot from, do it from the spots he's going to drive from. You can make this far more game-like. You can add so much more context to this drill. You don't need to what do you call it? Deconstruct. You don't need to deconstruct people's games so much. I think that's one of the biggest issues we have. I was watching a former, well, I mean, I guess he's always going to be, he was the #1 pick of the draft. And I was watching a shooting coach, very famous shooting coach, working with this kid. This was years ago. And watching them deconstruct this jump shot and trying to, there was a shooting workout that lasted, it was like 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours for a shooting workout. And what the things they were talking about and the things that they were doing was so like in the weeds. I'm like, I don't even remember what you guys were working. They were like so detailed on wrist rotation, elbow alignment, work like shoulder rotation stuff. It was like hips and knees and legs and alignment and footwork and fading and leaning and off balance and on balance. It was so much stuff over the course of 2 hours. And then I'm just like, I've never seen, it was the most bizarre thing I'd ever seen. And to me, it looked like the trainer was trying to show other people, like, this is why I need a job. Like, you need to hire me. You need to keep me. Like, look how much work I'm doing. But the thing I always say is like, dude, keep it simple. Like, just go shoot without thinking. Do that first. And then we can work on little tweaks little by little as you go. But trying to fix someone's shot in 2 hours, without ever like watching them play live or working out with them live. Like, to me, it was the most bizarre thing. And I always think back to that. And that person never developed into being a good shooter, by the way. I think of that every single time I start watching these types of drills. When they start deconstructing things, I'm just like, why? I don't get it. Why? Jaylen Brown does not need all this stuff overly deconstructed. He needs to stick with that 2-ball stuff. Honestly, that's what he needs. Now I'm just going to get shots up. We're going to get into some footwork drive stuff. We're moving on. Like, that's, we identified what he needs to work on.
Yes, sir. Really get the hit.
One.
Like, how much better of a shooter do we think we can make Jaylen Brown in the mid-range? Like, all of this stuff, is this going to get him that extra 1%? Some of you might say yes, some of you might say no. I think with having 4 coaches, there's more things that there's 80%. Hold on, 80%. So 80% of the time work on what's going to get you the most results. Pareto principle. My brain is fried. I can't think straight. But there's no need in like having 4 or 5 coaches doing a session that's going to maybe add like 0.5% to a shooting percentage when it's like we identified some things that he really struggles with. We can really just stick with that stuff, and we can hyper fixate on that for a month and a half, and he'll come into the next season a completely different player.
I ain't never seen these yet.
Three. Slowed up.
You guys let me know. Am I in the wrong? I could be completely wrong with this. I could be the lunatic, okay? I'm not always right. This stuff to me, it's just like, just shooting a jump shot here. Like, imagine a shooting gun. So that the gun just shoots the ball out to you and you catch it, right? So if you're just shooting on the shooting gun, the Dr. Dish, whatever, and you're just shooting normal jump shots, if you shoot 100 normal jump shots, or if you shoot 100 of these, which player is going to come out better? They're probably going to be fairly similar, right? Because it's just, effectively, you're just shooting 100 jump shots. There's not a lot you're getting out of this. Yes, this can work on some other things, like I said, like your balance and whatever. I know Dirk Nowitzki's coach did a lot of unorthodox things, but Dirk really needed that stuff because he was a 7-footer and he was goofy and gangly and not super athletic in certain stances. So all that stuff made sense. When I look at Jaylen Brown, I'm like, I'm not going to spend much time working on your mid-range jump shot. Like, you already have that. Let's focus on some other things. And again, this is just because I have no context for the workout. I don't know what they're trying to work on or anything. So I'm just speaking out loud, thinking out loud.
You know how to dance?
I got a little about that. Go footwork, baby. It's up. There you go. Light feet. One. Two, three. This one thing, right? Just working on transferring that energy forward, transferring back, finding the balance, right? These are all things that really just challenge his balance, right? Make sure when you come back, feeling nice and comfortable. Good, sir. Good. Hips down, Jay. One.
Yeah, he is not in tune with his body much at all, is he?
Try to drive your knee up. Control. 1, 2.
So again, all this stuff, like, it will make you better in some way, right? But I talk about this a lot. Like, let's show it on game film. Like, hey, this right here is really what you need to work on. So let's apply it. So I always start from the wing or top of the key, because this is where players try to score from the most, or the elbow or the free throw line, right? I try to pick a spot where you're going to be in a closeout situation or a ISO situation. Pick one of those spots and then say, okay, that's why that split stance I was talking about earlier, you can dribble the ball, boom, split stance, explode to the basket, one dribble, get it all the way to the backboard. Because if you're not on balance and you don't explode out properly, like, you won't get all the way there. So you can be working on the balance and explosiveness and all the plyo sort of stuff that they're doing right now, but in context of like when you would use this in a game, because it becomes self-teaching. So once I teach a player to do this, they can now go work on that on their own, because they know if it was a good rep or not. If you get all the way to the backboard clean with the one dribble, that was a good rep. Like, how do you grade yourself? How do you grade yourself doing this? Do you need 4 coaches with you all the time to be doing this stuff? So anyways, let me know what you guys thought. I don't think it's a bad workout. Maybe we'll go to the end and see what he says. Maybe he'll add some context there, because they're just doing that shooting thing for a while. Let's see what he says.
Exactly all the time. Sometimes we have a long season, so we can't work like we would work in the summer, right? So what you're seeing is us doing condensed work. Small details, small things that he's gonna feel when he's doing the things he do when he plays, right? So, he just played a game last night. He's back at it the next day. He got a game tomorrow. So a lot of things we do is gonna be very condensed, and just so he can feel like that balance, like he said, that pick up those different things when he's in those spots when he play, right? So a lot of your work all the time don't have to be run you through the ground. You gotta understand what point of the year you're in and how you.
So yeah, this is kind of just, I guess, like a tune-up session with honestly, this was just like a getting shots up for Jaylen Brown, and it's probably a way to keep it from being stale. If I had to guess, so this is more just like I probably looked into this way too much. Honestly, this is players, young players out there, you don't need this. And this is not a knock on Dazzler. This is just what I mean of like, once we get to the NBA, it's almost like we've forgotten what development is, or we overthink it. It's just like, once you get to that level, things are just different. Like, this is just he had a game yesterday and they're just saying like, oh, it's just some little tweaks and little things to work on. This is just a shooting session. This is just get in the gym, get your body moving. Don't overdo it. But I wonder, I'd be interested to know if this is in conjunction with the strength and conditioning coach, in conjunction with the organizational approach. Like, I'm wondering if this is in conjunction with all those things, or if this is just like Jaylen Brown wants to get out, connect. This kind of looks like more of like a networking sort of thing. So yeah, if you're a young player, if you're a young skills trainer, if you're a coach or whatever, I would try to look at the purpose for these workouts and try and understand, like, what can you take from this that you liked? What is it that you don't like? But just always remember, try and understand the context of like, this is Jaylen Brown. This is not, I would not take this workout and apply it to a young player. The part that I really did like, and I think is invaluable, is the 2-ball dribbling thing at the very beginning. I think all of you should apply that somehow into your trainings, even your team trainings. You can get all the players to have 2 basketballs, get through some 2-ball work for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever you want to do at the beginning of practice, and then get on to your training. So that's the part I liked. The rest of it, it was very, very NBA social networking. So let me know what you guys think. I want to see more of Dash's training sessions later on, or down the line, because I think he's got quite a few more videos. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one.